on the go with Jacob and James, just two friends hanging out and talking stuff. Sit back and relax, kids. It's time for a show, the show. Grab some snacks, grab some drinks. Take your pants off and enjoy.
All right.
We're on.
We're on. We're here.
I like that intro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Was that the AI?
Yeah.
I thought, wow, you finally used it, huh?
Yeah. Well, I guess there's like some sort of AI bumper creator that's being shared around the offices.
Oh yeah.
So I played with it and
You did.
I will say I feel very dirty playing with the AI stuff.
I don't.
I do. Like it's funny when used in a comedic way, and like it's very obvious AI or whatever. But other than that, like it just feels kind of like dirty.
Oh.
Like I shouldn't be playing with it.
Oh.
Like I shouldn't be.
I like it.
Shouldn't be using it.
I like it. I think we should use those like as part of like bumpers, commercials. We might have to play with that afterwards because I kind of want to do some stuff with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we got some time later today, I do want to do.
The thing is, it's not perfect. Like because you can type in the lyrics that you want, and you can type in or put in like what genre or whatever, and it spits out something. But sometimes it's either exactly what you want,
yeah,
or the words don't come out right.
That's what everybody said.
Yeah, and so it's a lot of like trial and error.
Yeah,
with it, so it's not a perfect thing. It's not going to spit out a perfectly made song. And also, what I like about AI right now, or at least with like music wise, because I know imaging is getting a little bit like really far advanced, but at least with like music and stuff, you can still tell it's AI.
Yeah, you can definitely tell it's AI.
And I do like that. I like being able to tell that it's just like not a real thing.
Yeah.
But I think in the future, because like how like radio stations and sometimes like television stuff, like they'll have that disclaimer where it's like the following has been pre-recorded and blah blah blah. I think that's we're gonna see that. I think the disclaimer is just also gonna have like the following has been pre-recorded and may contain AI content.
You better.
Yeah.
You better.
Right. I think when you use AI, you have to at least admit that you're using AI, which is what I did immediately, right? Like you called it out and I was like, yeah, AI.
Yeah, I kind of already figured. I said, this son of a bitch just use AI.
Yeah.
And the same guy that criticized it.
I do criticize it. I still criticize it, but I don't know. I wanted to put it together.
But you do have to admit that was cool.
Yeah, it was kind of cool.
Okay. That's all I want you to know. You have to admit that was cool.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we just use that as a form of being lazy.
No.
It might not being creative.
It's nice to use as like a little bumper every now and then.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I never meant it to actually use it.
Yeah.
But this is kind of cool.
Well, how's your week been so far, sir?
It's been okay. It's been okay.
Yeah, just okay.
Yeah, hey man, just making it.
You bearing through all the weather we're having?
Yeah, like we got dodged. We dodged a bullet.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I think it was supposed to be like a lot of torrential rain, but we didn't end up getting it.
Like wave after wave,
after wave. So it's just been like hour on hour, like on and off all day long. I mean, all week long.
Yeah.
So which is good for Houston because
dude, it's only the beginning of like hurricane season, and I'm already over it. I am. Well, we've had so much storms lately.
I knew we were gonna get killed this time around. Yeah, because last couple years we haven't been dodging.
We've been dodging, a
lot of hurricanes. So
we're actually we're a little worried about that. I was contemplating. I was like, I should buy some lanterns or something.
I think you should
at some point. Because
I think you should.
We've managed to avoid a lot of stuff. Like Imelda was the last big one, but that wasn't even big. That was a tropical storm. And we almost got as flooded as bad as like when Harvey came through, which is insane.
Yep, that's true. So I mean, yeah, you might want to invest in that. You have like flashlights.
Yeah, we got flashlights.
Okay,
and stuff. But
that's the main thing. You got flashlights, plenty of batteries.
Yeah, gotta get plenty of batteries. I gotta like overstock on water and stuff.
Yeah, overstock on that stuff. Yeah. Because if you do it now, you won't have to worry about it when that time comes. Because Houston always overreacts to everything.
Yeah, well, like they did with this thing.
Yeah,
they were like, "Oh, be ready to get soaked.
Have you been to the grocery store? Has it been like that?
No, actually.
Like,
I don't think I've been to the grocery store
okay.
recently.
Oh, okay, cool.
So we don't go to the store too often anymore. Like I'll go to buy like some extra things around the apartment, but we usually get like the Blue Apron boxes and stuff. So
oh yeah, you're right.
The bigger dinner items, we're pretty set on that. And we went to Costco like last weekend and just got some other items. But yeah, I haven't really been to the store lately.
Usually, what I do is I go to Amazon. I use Amazon. Amazon delivers groceries.
Oh yeah, they do have that feature.
Yeah, so they do that. They deliver it like till 10:30 at night.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Does it work out pretty good?
Oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It works out great. And they don't have everything that you need, but they got just about everything.
Nice.
So
we haven't tried that. We used to do the Walmart or the HEB pickup.
I did do the Walmart.
Yeah, we did the Walmart one when we were still out in Kingwood, and both our cards ended up getting hacked from it. Because I would buy groceries one week and then she would buy groceries the other week or whatever. And then both of our cards got hacked. It was around Christmas time. So I opened up my bank account because I check it regularly, right? I always just check. And I had like 2 or 3 $200 like purchases that I obviously didn't make. And I think one of it was like for makeup and like another one was like a fancy toaster, like $200, like just for like a toaster or whatever. It was insane. And it's funny because Khadijah had her email attached to the Walmart thing. So it scammed my card because we used it.
Yeah.
But she was getting all the emails from it. Like she was getting all the email updates from the orders and stuff. And actually one of the orders, they emailed like the shipping location through UPS or whatever. So she went into UPS and changed the shipping location to a different location. And then we went and picked up the package.
Damn, that is crazy.
Yeah.
It's shockingly, it's Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart.
Because you didn't get that with HEB.
Right. We thought it was Sonic because there was a Sonic across the street from the Walmart, so we would go pick up groceries and go get Sonic, whatever. So we're like, oh, Sonic's ripping us off. But no, we found out it was a Walmart, and then we stopped using the Walmart app.
That is crazy.
And weirdly enough, like we don't really even use the HEB app enough.
Oh, you know what? HEB is the best.
Yeah.
I love that place.
Yeah, we have an HEB down the road, and I think we've only like done the grocery pickup like once or twice from them. Every other time we just go, and I don't know why. I just never think to use the grocery pickup thing. It would save so much time, and I should do it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and it's got the freshest produce.
Yeah,
fresh as hell. So yeah,
they're nice.
I like how we're plugging up grocery stores.
I know, right? We just you never know what you're gonna talk about.
You know what? It's been better than what we've been doing, ain't that right, Denny's?
Don't get me started on Denny's.
My name is Dick Righteous, and I'm here to take you on the wonderful journey through freedom, justice, in the good old American way. Like a hamburger with fries.
Got to see Furiosa,
Did you
Mad
know?
Max Saga over the weekend. Khadijah went, Joel went, Terry went, friend of Joel's.
Damn.
We all
all right.
went. So yeah, we all did.
So you didn't call me?
You already seen it. You've seen
No,
the
man,
movie.
I don't mean I didn't want to see it again.
Damn, I should.
Damn, all right.
Call me out.
Let's just keep going. Let's keep going. You got it.
Anyway, we went and saw this movie.
This is an on-the-go spoiler alert. You have now been alerted.
And anytime a movie starts with like chapter 1, buckle up.
Oh yeah. You in for a long story.
It's gonna be
Yep.
a ride. It's gonna be a tale. Like, better go to the bathroom while you can because, man, yeah, the opening, like right when it was like number 1, I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Overall thoughts, I enjoyed the movie quite a bit. I thought it was great. I think it did a great job of setting up more of the wasteland and like showing like how everything works and the economy of the wasteland. You know, you have the 3 like citadels or the towns, like Gastown, the Bullet Farm, and the Citadel. So I think it did a great job of that. I really did like the exploration of that. I think Chris Hemsworth did a fantastic job as Dementus, and also his character was hilarious to me because he was just like a major disruptor.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he was.
World, because he would just show up and try to take over, and then either he'd get his ass kicked and then have to retreat, or he would take over and then he just has more people in his little traveling kingdom.
He was like the Joker.
Yeah, very much the Joker. Very flamboyant in his acting and the way he did.
But not over the top.
Not over the top, no. But I will say, in the trailer, he didn't sound like Chris Hemsworth as much, but in the movie, I noticed it a lot more. So I guess they just probably used like the best voice lines for the trailer, but in the movie, I was like, okay, no, he does sound like Chris Hemsworth.
Bro, they probably didn't want him to go over the top like Jason Momoa did in Fast X.
Yeah.
You know what? Like, look, let's dial it down a little bit.
Let's chill out a little bit, guys.
we know it's Chris Hemsworth. Everyone
Yeah.
knows it's Chris Hemsworth. Let's not go too crazy with
Yeah.
it.
And I was like, even though it's a prequel movie, and the problem with prequels is because you always kind of know how they end.
True.
You know, like when you're watching, you're like, oh, I'm not really worried because I know it's going to end this way and blah, blah, blah. For a prequel movie, it does a good job of kind of keeping you on your toes.
Yeah.
Or at least, like, it does a good job of subverting your reality enough to where you're watching the scenes and you're like, oh, I hope she gets away, or I hope this happens, or I hope this happens. But really, it can't. You're right. Like, the end of the movie has to be she's stuck at that citadel.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it did a really good job of kind of giving you a little hope, I suppose.
Did you notice one of the cameos? It was a very, very quick cameo. You know what I'm talking about?
Which
when
one?
It was on, they were running through the desert and then on top of the mountain. I think either that was Tom Hardy.
Oh, Mad Max. Yeah,
Mad
yeah.
Max.
Yeah, there was a scene where, Mad Max is just chilling out, eating some whatever.
He's looking like, what the hell's going on over there?
But you know what? That's very Mad Max.
Yeah.
Because Mad Max is not one to really get involved in stuff.
Nope.
It's just more or less he was passing through and they're like, hey, can you help us fight this crazy guy?
He was just looking. What the hell's going on
He's
over
like,
there?
I guess.
All right.
But you're right. He was far enough away from the action where he's like, I'm not going over there. And then little do you know, 15 years later, he gets
Right in
wound
it.
up in it. Yeah. So I did think that cameo was nice. I was thinking like maybe they'd have him be not a bigger part, but like I thought maybe they'd show him in a different way. But the way they did it was very nice. It was like, okay, cool. We acknowledge Mad Max is around.
Because we know he is coming up eventually.
Yeah, he's gonna make his way through here at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Or really, I guess by force, because they capture him in the beginning of Fury Road. And you know what? Khadija and I, we came home and we watched Fury Road right after, right? All the context and stuff they put into Furiosa's story really pans out in Fury Road. Because when you watch Fury Road, everything kind of feels a little bit heavier.
It makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not even like making a lot more sense. It's just like, I don't know. I guess like there's that understanding as to why Furiosa's trying so hard to get out of there and like why she's kidnapping the girls and all that stuff. And it's funny because we were talking afterwards that like this movie kind of made us root for Immortan Joe, even though he was a villain in Fury Road.
That's true.
Yeah, but not necessarily. It's like, you know, he's a bad dude, but compared to the other bad dude, it's like, well, this guy's disrupting a whole economy.
Yeah, Chris Hemsworth's character, he was destroyed. He was horrible.
Yeah. He was doing all kinds of messed up stuff.
Yeah, and the ending and his death.
Oh, yeah.
Oof, that was his alleged
death. Very ambiguous, which is also very Mad Max because each one of Mad Max's adventures is just kind of a story around a campfire in a way. So I thought that was a nice touch. We're like, oh yeah, we don't really know how she killed him, but she told me, the historian dude, that he's a tree or whatever. And you know, you never see that in Fury Road. They don't show a tree ever. So could there be or could there not be? It's still
or
like,
maybe she just shot him in the head.
She could have done that. I do think by the time they got to his death, though, that was about the time where I was like, this has got to end soon, right? Like,
Oh yeah,
this is going on for a while now. Like,
I mean, it was a good speech that he gave before he died. It's just like, look, no matter what you do to me, you'll never get the true satisfaction.
Now, I don't appreciate the little fake out they did with him where he had the like seizure.
Oh yeah,
Because that felt to me that George Miller like wrote that scene and it was like, oh, I thought of something cooler for him to say, and then instead of just like erasing that, he just like added to it. You know what I mean? Like instead of erasing like him dying, you just like bring it back up.
Well, I got it because of the simple fact that she just kept knocking the crap out of him, knocking the crap out of him.
Yeah, that's true.
And she was beating the crap out of him. And she was like, I want him back. You think I want him back? I want my family back too.
Yeah.
You know,
we all lost people.
I'm curious to see how his family died. You know, I'm kind of curious to know. I think not that I want to see just a prequel after prequel after prequel.
No.
But I would like to see not so much a reboot of Mad Max, but just a little bit more in depth because we didn't get that in the originals, the one from the 1980s.
You're right because the first one is the most unlike Mad Max there is, even though it's the first Mad Max. It's very very weird.
Yeah, it is.
when you compare it, actually, which is funny because Mad Max itself is kind of a weird franchise. But yeah, that first movie is very strange, and it doesn't tell you how the world becomes what it is in the Road Warrior or Thunderdome, right? Like all of a sudden, everything's just a complete wasteland.
Yeah, about Thunderdome is already a wasteland.
Yeah, and they keep bringing up like the oil wars, and I think every movie they replay that same kind of footage of like bombs going off, and they got radio noises of the wars and whatnot. So you kind of have some idea, but yeah, there hasn't been a clear cut. This happened, so this is why it's like this. It's more or less the world went to crap, and now everyone's just insane and wears leather and
wears leather.
Calls themselves Toe Jam and Dementis and whatever.
Got some guy rubbing his nipples the entire time.
Oh my god! That bothered me. He did it so much in this movie, James, and I was telling them afterwards. I'm like, yeah, man, like, him rubbing the nipples just really distracted me. I didn't like it. And they were like, well, he did in Fury Road too. We watched Fury Road. He did not touch his nipples.
He did not.
Much.
Yeah, he did not.
He did not.
He was still big, but he was not touching
Right?
his nipples like that.
Right. But it's cool to see him in this one. It was neat to see like him and the Bullet guy.
Yeah,
and
Nathan
then,
Jones.
Yeah.
His two sons.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the one you don't see in the next one, because I presume he just dies.
Yeah,
point,
I think
right?
so.
Yeah. And the fact that he's like, even back then, he was still like trying to create the perfect kid. Oh, and the doctor dude, the organic mechanic, he's the same actor. He's the same dude. And they brought him back for this. That was cool. Nice touch.
So now that you've seen the film and you watched everything and you see how it performed at the box office, do you think they're gonna do another one, or do you think they're gonna just do something else different?
Well, I know it just dropped off like globally. I think the numbers finally dropped or whatever, and it's hard to say because I know a lot of people. When they're talking about this movie, they're like, "Oh, it's a girl boss movie, and that's why it didn't do so good." Well, first of all, Furiosa was not a girl boss.
Not a girl boss.
She got her
movie.
ass kicked.
Yep.
All the damn time. She had a horrible time throughout this whole film. And also, too, when you look back at it, Mad Max already is a very niche franchise. It's not a Star Wars. It's not a Matrix. It's not a giant blockbuster franchise. Fury Road was a blockbuster. But even then, I think it barely made the money back when they did that one. And that also alluded to why it took so long to make this one, because there was a lot of stuff between the studio and George Miller. Apparently, the studio didn't want to give George Miller all the money.
Which is Warner Brothers.
Yeah, Warner Brothers that he made off of it. And they tried to say, it's like, well, we wanted a PG-13 movie, but you gave us a rated R movie.
When you do a PG-13 movie, you don't limit your audience.
Right.
But I don't know any kids that would want to see a Mad Max film.
Right.
So you might as well just
it's
make
not very
it rated R.
kid-friendly.
It's not very kid-friendly.
The most kid-friendly Mad Max film you have is Thunderdome.
Yeah.
Right? Because it has like a weird like Lost Boys vibe to it, or like a Hook vibe.
It's very silly.
Yeah. And so the franchise art itself is already pretty niche. If it were to continue, I know he's got another script for another actual Mad Max film called The Wasteland, because he wrote all these scripts around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was him kind of writing to explain like where Furiosa's been and where she came from, and then like also where Mad Max has been and all this stuff. And then it was just enough material to where he's like, hey, I can make 2 more movies out of this.
Yeah,
right?
but you could.
Yeah. And that was the plan. Like Furiosa was supposed to come out a few years after Fury Road, but then the legal battles happened and that kind of deterred him. He's also like 80 something years old too.
He is.
And
he said he wanted to do another Thor. He would like to do a Thor film.
Oh, that'd be neat.
That would be nice to see him in MCU.
Yeah.
It'd be a welcome too.
Because you know what's funny? He's only ever done Mad Max movies, and then he's done like Babe and Happy Feet.
That Babe one always gets me.
Yeah.
And the Happy Feet one.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
Strange, right? Just like, okay, Mad Max and then Babe and Happy Feet are your claims to fame here.
yeah, I'm like, really, Babe?
Right. I don't know if it'll get a sequel. If it does, I'd appreciate it. I'd love a sequel. I just like how weird and kooky this world is.
Me too. I loved it, man. I love the film. I told you that before.
Yeah.
I thought it was a cool film. I understand that it doesn't register with everyone, but not every movie's going to register with everyone.
Joel called it a mini series.
It does feel like a mini series.
You're right.
It could have been.
My argument to that would be every movie's kind of a mini series.
Sorta,
Every movie is
kinda.
like an hour and a half, 2 hour like story. That's what a mini series is. It's about 2 hours, and then it's like 3 episodes, and each episode's like 2 hours, right? They're movies.
Well, the only thing with a miniseries, you just missing the commercials part.
Exactly.
That's the only thing. It's like what Will Smith said. It's getting harder and harder to have a big hit.
Yeah.
And you have to have, if a movie has to have either be high or it better be somewhat. It's gonna be probably low,
You're right.
and that's just the way it is. And no one knows more about bigger hits than Will Smith.
Yeah.
Because he's had high and high movies, and he's had low and low movies.
Yeah.
So it's getting harder.
Well,
harder.
somebody also made the comment that, the MCU kind of skewed everybody's opinion on what a hit is, or
Probably.
what a successful movie is now. Because like for the MCU for a while, they were billion-dollar movies, like globally, billions of dollars every movie. And so now that's been the comparison. It's like, yeah, you made your money back, but did you do MCU money? It's like, well, that's not really,
But that's how they
not
base
really
it on.
relative. Yeah,
It's like in sports. It's like, oh yeah, you did good. You had a good regular season, but did you win the championship?
yeah.
No.
It's like,
But then you didn't have a good season,
right,
and that's just the way the MCU looks at it now.
right.
Like I think I think some people were talking about Superman. Superman has to hit over $1 billion in order to be successful.
That's a crazy amount.
That's
of
a
money
crazy amount of money.
Yeah.
No movie's gonna hit that amount.
No.
DC has had like 5 or 6 failures.
Yeah,
And you're expecting this movie to come out the gate hitting.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's gonna be hard for that to be a hit. Even if it is Superman.
yeah,
I know they want it to be a hit, and it needs to be a hit.
yeah.
But to say it needs to hit like $1 billion,
Right.
out the gate,
That's ridiculous.
no, that just can't happen. I predict a movie like that probably be in the Planet of the Apes type money. And Planet of the Apes was a good film.
It was.
I love that film. The music was great too as well.
Yeah, I've heard it's very well. What hurt Planet of the Apes is the fact that it's just an old franchise.
It's an old
franchise
from the 60s.
The first one's only like really the biggest hit out of all of them, outside of the new trilogy probably. So it's just been around for so long.
Mm-hmm. You just got to find a way to make these hits. You got to find a way to make a hit.
You're right. And I mean, also too, if Mad Max, if they don't make another one, it's fine. I think this one was a good coup de grace.
Yep.
Because it really it explained more, it showed more of the wasteland, which I did appreciate. I did enjoy seeing that, or even, I don't know, just like how everything worked and how everybody acted. And here's a question. Do you think Furiosa changed your identity of like a few times in that film?
What do you mean?
So at the beginning, when she gets caught by Morton Joe and stuff, or when she gets traded to a Morton Joe, she's like with the wives, right? And then the one son was trying to like creep on her or whatever, so she managed to get away. And then she infiltrated, I guess, like the engineering people as a boy, right? She hid herself as a boy.
Oh, yeah.
Again, we were talking about like, oh, but she grew her hair out. Like, how come they never noticed? I think when she linked up with Jack, the dude on the first war rig and on the Fury Road, I think when they came back, they just told the story of like, oh, I found her on the Fury Road, so she's going to be with me now. I think she changed her identity again.
She could have.
Yeah.
She could have. I think I see where you come from. I have to watch it again because, like I said, it's been such
Right.
a long time.
Because after that, that's when she started growing her hair out and stuff. And so I think when she came back after that, she was like, oh, I'm a girl and I'm a different person entirely. Like, because I don't think she ever told anybody her name until after she got back from the stowaway trip.
Yeah.
So that's just my little headcanon. And did you think they were in love or?
No, it definitely felt like they was in love. They were in love.
Right. That's what Joel thought. I don't know so much if they like had a romantic ties. I think part of it is just bonded by trauma.
Oh, trust me. I know a lot about that. Yeah, bonded by trauma.
You're fighting for your life, driving this big rig between, economies or castles or whatever. Yeah, it's just two. I think some of it is just being bonded by like all the crap you went through. There's that scene when Dementus captures them too, and they're kind of like whispering stuff to each other. And Joel was like, oh, I think they were telling each other how much they love each other or whatever. And I was like, I think she was telling him the way to get to the green place. I like to think that like they were still hopeful, and she was like, hey, if we get out of this, or if you get out of this, you run there or whatever. It's ambiguous because you don't hear what they say to each other. They're just like whispering and stuff. They're not kissing on each other. It looks like, they're close, but
I don't know why that was so funny to me. It's like, you're thinking totally the opposite.
Yeah.
I think they're telling you love each other.
I think they're telling each other. No, I think they're planning. I think they're trying to plan how to get the hell away from this dude.
Oh, man. Leave it to you, Jacob. Heart of steel.
But you know what?
Heart of steel.
But again, that goes back to, I like how ambiguous some things in this movie are. It doesn't hold your hand the entire time, right?
No.
It leaves things open enough for you to interpret it how you want to interpret it, right? Like, I think she changed her identity like 3 or 4 times while she lived here, whereas other people might see it and be like, how come no one noticed, like, it's the same girl, and how come no one noticed, like, X, Y, and Z? It's like, well, maybe she hit it. Also, they're a bunch of dumb wastelanders. Let's be honest. They spray chrome spray paint into their faces every day. I don't think intelligent wise, they're very high on the scale.
They lost a lot of brain cells.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, they're bombing themselves. They're almost their biggest enemies, honestly.
Pretty much. But yeah, man, I'm glad you enjoyed the film.
Oh, I loved it.
I'm glad everybody went. I'm kind of sucks that I was invited, but okay. But yeah.
If it makes you feel better, we didn't do anything afterwards. We just
that's fine. That's fine.
You know, we ate at Red Robin and went our separate ways.
Oh, so you everybody went to Red Robin's?
Do you like Red Robin?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
Yeah, I love Red Robin.
I feel like it would be above Red Robin.
No. I'm never above Red Robin's, man. I just haven't been there a long time because it's so expensive.
Is it? No, it's not that expensive. Well, maybe it is. I don't know.
For the
$15 for a burger? Yeah.
$15
Yeah, you're
bucks
probably right.
just for a burger?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
Maybe so. Well, that's all we did. I'm sorry, man. You've seen the movie. It's like, oh, James seen it already.
It's all good, man. It's all good. It's all good.
On the Go podcast with Jacob and James.
It would truly spice up your life.
So The Boys season 4 dropped. Or half the season, essentially, right?
3 episodes, right?
There's 3 episodes. There's 8 in total, which I don't know why you do that. Just if you're going to drop half the season, drop the whole season.
Drop the whole thing.
Or do it 1 week at a time. So, Boys season 4 comes out, and there's mixed reviews by the audience.
I've heard.
And I've seen the first 3 episodes, and I can tell you my opinion so far is they're getting heavier and heavier on the political satire.
We saw that coming.
Like, there's a whole superhero she runs like a YouTube channel, and she just talks about how Starlighter is trafficking kids, and she brings up Epstein, and
so she's pretty much like Laura Ingraham.
Yeah, well, the creator says she's supposed to be like Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh,
that's who she's like based off of. Like, the first episode, there's a courthouse scene. Homelander's on trial, right? There's a whole courthouse scene where you have like the Homelander supporters and you have the Starlight supporters, because Starlight breaks off from the boys and now she's trying to save kids or whatever. And anyway, there's that whole split. And so Homelander's recruited a new supe to be on the team, and he makes her go and start a riot. And so I think it's supposed to be kind of like a J6 situation almost. They've gotten so heavy-handed with it, James, where it's like, I don't really enjoy the satire. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, politically, everything's kind of already feels like a parody.
Everything.
So when I see a parody of what already feels like a parody is just very draining to me. I don't know. I don't enjoy it as much. I think the average viewer probably gets a kick out of it because they're like, oh, haha, that's like that one crazy person on TV or whatever.
Yeah.
But for me in my situation, I don't know. I see it. I'm just like, I hear this stuff
because
so often.
It feels like a pamphlet. You feel like you're reading a pamphlet. Mm-hmm. And another thing, you just feel like the writing isn't good.
Well, I think they're getting away from the point of what The Boys is.
Because the first season, I'm assuming, is supposed to be all about these heroes that are doing things their way.
Well, not even that. It's
right?
What if superheroes were controlled by corporate entities, essentially, right? Okay. It's like, what if superheroes were basically just glorified, like overqualified celebrities, and on the front end, they seem good and noble and justice and whatever, but on the back end, they're banging hookers and they're doing drugs and, you know, they're murdering people and they don't care because the company just covers it up anyway. And the comic book itself, the way it's written with such hate and disgust with the superhero genre that even the comic book is like too heavy-handed in that way, because a lot of people think The Boys do a better job than the book does. Right, because they handle some of the storylines a little bit better, or the character development's better. It's not just the book can get like very gross and over exaggerated, and like there's sometimes it's just gratuitous to be gratuitous.
Who written the book? Who written the book? Who
Garth Ennis.
write the book?
Garth Ennis. He's the guy who also did Preacher.
Okay.
So a lot of people enjoy that the show is kind of different. And I don't mind it. You know, I mean, you've heard me talk about comic books. I don't like. I've said I don't think you need to do like a 1-to-1 recreation of comic books sometimes, but I think for the boys, it's still important to keep like that main theme.
Keep the main thing.
And they do. Like the Supes are just bad people in general. But I think when you add the political satire and stuff, you're kind of getting away from the point. And also in the books, they do such a good job of showing the boys like, okay, hey, this week we're infiltrating this super group because we heard they have information on Homelander, or they have information on this. So Huey's gonna go in and pretend to be, you know, a Supe, because they all have powers in the books. And so like we're gonna infiltrate them, and we're gonna blackmail them, or we're gonna get our information or whatever. And it's like you get to see different like superhero groups, and you get different characters, and sometimes some of the Supes aren't as bad, some of the Supes are even worse, and you know the main goal is still taking down Homelander.
Yeah,
it's just, you know, you have different story arcs, and so I think the show is doing too much of like just focusing on Homelander as the big bad. There's not enough. Hey, we need to do this to get this. I don't know. There's not enough variety.
Well, it looks like, I mean, because all I've seen is Homelander on everything. He's on Mortal Kombat, which I do want to play.
Yeah.
And he's also, you know, in commercials and stuff like that. And also the actor that plays Homelander, he's been considered to play Booster Gold, which I don't think that's a good choice because he has a villain. He has villain in his eyes.
Yeah.
That doesn't really work for me. I feel like the J6 stuff is so played out. I really don't want to see no more of that.
Well, yeah, and again, political satire. And the thing is, like, people have real criticisms on it. They're like, hey, I don't like these jokes. I'd rather them just do this or just do that. And
now, which ones are now? You have to specify. Are you talking about the people that are toxic, that are on the right side of it, or are you talking about the people that are on the left side of it?
I would say people in the middle.
Okay.
Right? Because, I mean, the toxic people are going to hate it regardless. Like, they hate everything regardless. They don't even watch it. They just hate it and move on.
True.
Right? So there are people who come up with, like, criticism similar to mine, where it's like, hey, the political satire is kind of funny, but also at the same time, I would like to see, you know, better storylines or, like, better character developments. Like, they get Frenchie a boyfriend this season because I guess he's bisexual.
Okay.
And it's all fine and well and good. It's just there's really nothing else for him to do but like have this boyfriend, and they added a storyline to where I guess like at some point in his past, like he killed the dude's like family, and someone was like, yeah, I guess like that's I mean they're like, you know, you could have him and some other character do so much more than have this like weird drama plot that you've kind of played out with this character over the past like couple seasons already. You know, it's like we could do something else here. Like we could. There's so many different avenues they could take it, and it just seems like they're
stuck in one lane, and they're trying to prove that one lane, and that's it.
They are, and the problem is online when people try to like voice his criticisms. And granted, we're 3 episodes in, it could get better. You know, I'm not dissing it. I'm not hating on it. I'm gonna finish out the season, and I'll give my full thoughts when I finish the season. But other people are having these like thoughts and criticisms on it, and then the super fans who I think only have seen the show and they don't know the source material from the books, they react in a very hateful way. They're like, well, if you don't understand it, you're stupid. You don't have media literacy. You're not thinking on the high degree that we think or whatever. Or they're like, well, if you don't like the joke, it's because the show's been making fun of you the whole time and you're just waking up to it. That's not the case.
That's not the case.
You can criticize a show for devolving, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, I liked it at the beginning. I liked what it was doing, but like here we are in the 4th season and it's just not doing anything for me.
And it's not coming from a toxic place.
You're right.
It's coming from a very neutral place.
Right.
You know, it's like you're open to all possibilities of what the show brings. But what you're saying is the writing needs to be stronger.
Right. It's like this show could be so much more than just we got to take down Homelander and then someone gets splattered on the wall every episode. Like it could be, hey, this episode we're going after this superhero team, or this episode, we're going after that superhero team. And part of the cool thing about the boys was they all had superpowers to fight the Supes, and they took that away in the show, right? They're just normies, and then they introduced it in the last season, but then they took that away. So last season was kind of getting to where like, oh, this is where it's going to pick up closer to the books, and then they went a different direction with it. And I think that was kind of like the declining point with a lot of people. And now this season opens up with like, oh, this is where you're taking the show. And I don't really agree with it. And even the creators kind of come out and be like, well, if people don't like it, they can screw off or whatever.
But you don't want to you don't want to say that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, this is a series that you're trying to have like multiple spinoffs with. Like you've already started Gen V, and I think they're contemplating some other spinoffs yet. And I mean, Gen V was just okay. It wasn't like groundbreaking when that came out. I mean, it showed a different side of Supes, but even the end of that kind of led into the political stuff because it had like, the Supe supremacy movement and stuff, and it was kind of. I think some of the people were wearing like red hats. It's very heavy-handed. And don't get me wrong, like Supe supremacy is a theme in the books because Homelander is not a white supremacist. He's a supremacist. Like he literally thinks he's above everybody else, even other superheroes.
And it's pretty much kind of like you know what I compare this show to? I don't know if you ever watched this show. It was a show that came on CW. And I remember when they had these DC shows for like the lower end superheroes, or a little bit higher end.
Yeah.
You had Supergirl, you had Flash, Green Arrow. There was a show called Black Lightning.
Oh, yeah.
Black Lightning did the exact same thing.
Did it?
Yeah, where it would just go politically. It'll go political where they did the whole Breonna Taylor. They did that. Kind of, sort of. They just...
Was that
changed
the second
names,
season?
mixed. I think it was like the second or third season.
Okay, because I've only seen the first season.
Yeah, and
I liked the first season well enough. I just never continued.
Plus, trust me, no.
Oh, well.
But I mean, it does a lot of the same things, or it did a lot of the same things that you're saying.
Yeah,
and I think sometimes we can get caught up into it because we try to do what's that old saying? Art imitating life.
Yeah.
So you try to keep doing those type of things, but you have to realize too. You can do those things, but that's not just keep one lens on that one thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like you can do more things with this. You can be creative with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of just it's like, okay, we're going to do this today, just like the Breonna Taylor. Boom, send it out.
Yeah.
Come on, man. We can do better than that.
No, I think so too. And I think the show could do better. And I mean, I don't want it to follow the comics because like I said, the comics, it gets like really gross and violent and gratuitous in some parts, but I think there's ways to adapt some of those other storylines that fit, and you don't have to rely on real life things. Also, people watch content and movies and television shows to get away from real life. So if you turn on a movie and it's like, oh, here's them talking about vaccines, and then here's them talking about, Epstein Island and all that stuff. It's like, I hear this on a regular basis. Like,
and
it's everywhere.
once again, I have to keep saying this. It is not you saying that I don't want to hear this because it's political and it's trash and it's woke.
Yeah.
You're not saying that.
Right.
You're just saying, can you be more creative with the writing?
Right. Because also it's already a show about like superhumans, metahumans, who aren't good people. Right. Like on the back end, they're all doing terrible, horrible things, and we want to see their downfall. In fact, that's show enough. That's
So let me ask you this then, okay? Because they have already asked that season 5 will be the last season, and how do you think all of this ends? Because I'm assuming that you read the whole series of the books.
I haven't read the whole series, but I know how it ends, and the way the series ends, is, and spoilers for the comics, I guess, but the way the series ends is in the books. Huey, Butcher, all the characters, they have made themselves superhumans, right? They took the compound V so they can fight the Supes. And Butcher, he's so obsessed with killing Supes that I think it's before or after. I can't remember if it's before or after Homelander dies. But either way, he's so obsessed with killing Supes that he ends up killing the boys. He kills he kills Mother's Milk, he kills Frenchie, he kills Kimiko. And the only one he doesn't kill is Huey. Huey wins out in that fight, right? Because obviously Huey's the main character. and then that's it. That like Huey just has to live on. This is after like this is after Homelander dies. Now that I'm thinking about it, so like after Homelander's death, Butcher goes after the boys because he's trying to kill all the Supes, and then he dies. Huey lives on, and I think he like continues seeing Starlight. That's how the books end.
Damn.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the series should follow that to a point, but
I think they probably will, right?
I don't know because they've deviated so far away from it now.
Yeah.
Like I mean, even like there's a big twist in the books that they've already kind of flubbed in the show. So I don't even know if they're gonna go that way.
So it's not even like a teasing of like Carl Urban's character Butcher. It's not even a teasing of him kind of going dark a little bit.
I'm not for sure because at this point in time in the show he's dying.
Yeah.
So I don't know if like maybe he'll survive and then something, maybe there's like a dark twist to it or whatever, and then we'll get kind of like the comics version of the ending or what. But I don't know. But the way it ends is like Homelander eventually does start a super revolution and they go after the White House, they kill a bunch of people, and then Homelander gets killed off by Butcher. Then Butcher goes to kill the boys.
Damn. So. I actually would like that. Not gonna lie.
Right. That's a crazy ending.
Yeah, that is a crazy.
Especially because like you follow these characters the whole time, and it's like, oh no, you were also the villain.
Yeah, you were also you got this threat of Homelander.
Yeah,
the entire way. Then all of a sudden, boom,
it's like no,
twist.
you're also the bad guy. Because it's also like you lose yourself to the hate so much.
Yeah,
because like he just hates all Supes. He's disgusted by all Supes, like all this stuff. But you turn yourself into a Supe to kill Supes, and then you want all Supes to die. So theoretically, your team and you have to also die.
You're just as bad.
Yeah.
That is insane.
So it's just like committing yourself to the cause so hard that like you even got to take out your friends and yourself in a way.
That's pretty intense.
Yeah, it is pretty intense. And it would be
wouldn't
cool
mind
if they adapt it, but I don't know if they're really going to go that
Probably
way.
not.
I don't know because this show has become so popular and it's slowly distanced itself more and more from the comics, especially after last season. Last season really distanced itself quite a bit. So I really don't know which way it could go. And I just know based off the first 3 episodes with the really heavy-handed political satire and all that stuff, like I'm not really for it. I'm going to continue watching it. A lot of people are like, hey, it's only 3 episodes in. And I understand that. So like maybe as it goes on, it'll get a little bit better. Now there are some good things about this season. Like there's some funny bits that still happen.
See, there you go. So,
they do a really great job of showing like Homelander furthering becoming a psycho, which is always really good. And then they have a storyline going on with the Deep, where the Deep is dating an octopus, but he's like keeping it real low key because he's got the octopus in a tank in his closet, and like she talks to him when he comes home and stuff. That it's a funny thing.
Yeah,
there's a character that got replaced, like the whole person himself like got replaced in the show, right? And so he does this bit where he's like, so what's my motivation? What am I supposed to be doing here? And they're like, shut up. It's funny. It is really funny, and I appreciate it. So there's good stuff. There's stuff I do enjoy from watching the show, and I mean it's the boys. So you have your classic like boys things.
Yeah.
It's just the political satire. I'm just kind of over, and that might just be me in general, and what I hear and what I see on a daily basis.
I was about to say because you see this stuff on a daily basis. So
exactly. Other people, they're not so in tune to it, or they're not, in those areas, so this might be where it's like, oh, that's funny because I heard this is like this one crazy lady in Congress or whatever, you know what I mean? So it different perspectives, and it also comes from like, are you chronically online? Are you following all this stuff, and are you getting the references? Because if you're getting the references, either you're really going to like it or you're really going to hate it. And if you just don't understand, you're just like, oh, this is silly because X, Y, and Z,
That's understandable. I mean, I definitely understand where you come with all of it. Because like I said, Black Lightning was pretty much the same way. They had a season where it was just heavy political and just heavy on the Black Lives Matter stuff. And it was just like, it was already bearing enough as it is.
Yeah.
Because it was already sad witnessing it in real life. Then just, see it in a TV show nailed so in your head, it just made you even more depressed about it.
Yeah.
Not so much depressed, but just, just sad. So yeah, I definitely understand what you were saying. This was a good conversation to have.
On the Go with Jacob and James.
So I totally wanted to talk about this last week, and I completely forgot. I completely forgot. I don't know how I forgot. But Pharrell has a biopic coming out, James, made with Lego.
Yep. I thought that was very creative.
It's very creative, and apparently, I think it's Universal.
I think so. A lot of people haven't really been talking about it.
Yeah, surprisingly, it hasn't gotten a lot of traction.
I don't know if you even looked at that, because the YouTube views, even that wasn't even as big. I don't know what people thought it was just a sham or what. But I thought it was kind of cool.
So this comes from Universal Pictures had previously bought 5-year rights to make separate films from 2020 to 2025, with plans to include their own IP. The first Lego film under Universal's tenure of the film rights is Piece by Piece, which is the Pharrell thing. And that's set for October 11th, 2024. That's coming out really soon.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which, they only made one movie in 5 years?
I mean, well, if you look at the trailer, it doesn't seem like it's just a movie that should come out next year. It seems like a movie that you can kind of nail down right now.
That is true.
It's a Lego movie, so it doesn't seem like it's not like an action movie or a Jurassic Park.
You're right.
So I don't have a problem with it, but
originally Warner Brothers had Lego, and then 2020 was when the rights ran out. So that's when Universal bought it. So this is going to be the Universal's first
Lego
movie.
Ah, nice.
So this won't have anything to do with the other Lego movies because it's a different studio.
Yeah.
But I found it interesting that it's going to be a biopic of Pharrell's life. Which
Something
it looks
creative.
very creative. Mm-hmm. It looks very funny.
That's Pharrell though.
I don't know if it's going to be in the same way that like the Weird Al Yankovic was, where it's a biopic but it's also like a parody.
It could be.
Or if it's just going to be a straight biopic and it's going to have Lego elements. Because obviously, if you watch the trailer, there's like a house landing. Mm-hmm. It's got rockets and all kinds of like your silly Lego stuff. But it's Lego Pharrell and it's Lego Snoop Dogg and Lego Ice Cube.
See, I think it's going to be in the same realm of like Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah.
The Weird Al Yankovic type documentary movie. And I think that's so creative, but that doesn't shock me. It's Pharrell. Pharrell is the most creative dude I can think of. And to see all these celebrities and people that he was able to get in the movie is kind of cool, too.
Yeah.
And just to know that you can do a documentary about your life in Legos.
In Lego.
I think more people should do that. Because how many times have I complained about these biopics?
Right.
Pretty much doing the same thing all the time.
Well, they also follow the same beat.
The
right?
same
you see
beats.
and then people like... the Queen biopic, the Bohemian Rhapsody movie, that one
Whitney
got a lot
Houston.
of flack because people were like, well, they didn't really break up before Live Aid and all that stuff. And it's like, yeah, but it's a dramatization of what happened. So they gotta follow the beats. You gotta have the moment where they break up and they get back together, and then you have
It's
to
always that way.
Yeah.
Whitney Houston. What else?
Amy
What's another
Winehouse had one coming out.
Amy
recently.
Winehouse. I saw that movie.
Yeah.
Flopped.
Oh man.
What's that? Aretha Franklin movie with Jennifer Hudson.
Yeah, Aretha Franklin.
There was one that was very successful, and people forget about this movie. And I'm not just saying this because I love the group and I love the members. Straight Outta Compton.
That's a good one.
And Straight Outta Compton.
NWA?
Yeah, and they followed the same beat too.
Yeah.
It kind of did.
They did, yeah.
I think that the acting preceded that, and that's why that movie made.
Well, also, I think Ice Cube's kid was in it. And I think,
O'Shea Jackson. Yep.
I think Eazy-E's kid.
Yep.
Or somebody. There was a couple of their kids were playing.
No, not Easy. Not Eazy-E's kid. I'm sorry, but it was a guy that looked like Easy.
Yeah.
And that helps too. That helps too when you have these characters.
Actually have that that connection and that legacy in there.
It helps a lot.
So yeah, that movie was really great. And you remember the Tupac one, the All Eyes on Me?
Ooh, that was terrible.
You thought so?
Terrible. None of that happened. None of it was true.
Oh.
None of it was true. That's the thing about it. Like almost 98% of that film was fabricated.
Damn.
And it was so bad. Tupac did not write Jada Pinkett a letter. Okay? It did not have talking about how much I love you. That did not happen.
Damn.
It was such a fabricated lie. Notorious was better than that.
Notorious.
The
B.I.G.
the B.I.G. one. That was better than that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm totally on board for this. I love Pharrell. He's one of my favorites. You know, one of my favorite creators. So yeah, I definitely plan on checking that one out.
Yeah,
I don't even like Legos.
But I think that'll be a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
So next up we have Smile 2.
Now, have you ever saw the first Smile?
I did, and honestly, I don't think it needed a sequel. I
Really?
don't know why it has a sequel.
I mean, it made a lot of money. It was good. It was that, you know what? It was that summer where we had like a whole bunch of horror movies that was just kicking ass, and it was just, man, it was like we had that. We had what's the other movie that came out? Barbarian.
Barbarian was good. I like
was another
Barbarian
one.
more. Smile, I didn't really gravitate towards.
I like Smile. I really, really did like it. It was very creative. It made a lot of money, man. Yeah. It was one of those unexpected hits.
Yeah.
Once again.
Well, I haven't watched the trailer, so let's watch the trailer real quick.
Okay.
And then we'll come back with our thoughts.
All right.
All right, so it's just more of the same.
Yeah, it is. I think it's a little bit more different than the first one was, but I definitely plan on seeing it for sure. I do love Naomi Scott. The first one had Kevin Bacon's daughter in there.
Oh, is that who that was?
Yeah, that was Kevin Bacon's daughter.
Okay.
So yeah, this one seems a little bit different. Very different tone. I did not think they were going to do that.
Is it a different tone?
A little bit. I said, oh, all right. It kind of shocked me a little bit with the music thing. So, but yeah,
Well, she's like a pop star.
Yeah, she's like a pop star.
That part,
I didn't expect them to do that.
That part I find kind of interesting because if you're doing a show, you don't know when it's coming.
Yeah, you don't know when it's, and that's what makes this one so interesting. Because I'm like, yeah, you really don't know when this is gonna come.
Yeah, but I don't know. Outside of that, it just seems like okay, same as the first.
I hear you.
Which really,
I
mean, I don't really know what else you can do with the sequel besides just do a different story.
Which I'm totally on board with. Because in the first one, spoilers, it looks like Kevin Bacon's daughter is, she's taken after that.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, pretty much like that. Yeah, that's the end of that.
That's the end of that story.
Yeah.
So I have no problem with them doing a different story. Like I said, I didn't expect that tone, but I'm still with it.
Cool. All right, and then next up we have Blink Twice, which is your favorite actor apparently that I just learned.
Oh, I mean, I don't hate Channing Tatum. I just think that he's someone that no one knows what to put him in.
Well, because he's been in so many different genres of movies, but he doesn't really have like a main genre he sticks with, right?
He doesn't have a franchise. He doesn't have.
I don't know if that's really on his agents or it might just be on him. He might just want to do different kind of movies.
I don't think
it's an Amazon movie.
Yeah, it's an Amazon movie.
Ah, I see.
And I don't think he's like the greatest actor in the world. That doesn't mean I don't hate him or anything, but I don't think he's like the greatest actor in the world.
Yeah, he's just kind of okay.
Just kind of okay. He's got a movie coming out with Scarlett Johansson called Fly Me to the Moon.
Fly Me to the Moon. Yeah, we did cover that. I think in one of our trailers.
Which I don't think you want to do a film like that.
Yeah, it's a weird romance comedy about faking the moon landing.
Political too.
Yeah,
a little political too. I'm like, how many stories have we heard about?
How many people? Yeah.
Yeah, like, we never made it to the moon.
Yeah.
So I don't know how comfortable I am with that.
This movie, Blink Twice. So the premise is all these people, these two girls, I guess they're partying with like some rich people or whatever, and they get invited to this island. And so they go. Yep. Channing Tatum is like holding this big party or whatever. And I guess throughout the week or whatever that they're there, they had to give up their phones, right? So throughout the week that they're there, like they're noticing some weird things and they're kind of like missing time. There's like Polaroids of stuff they're doing, but they don't remember doing it. And it seems like culty. It gives me kind of like Midsummer vibes in a way.
It gives me Fantasy Island vibes. Immediately when I saw this trailer, I said, "This reminds me of Fantasy Island." Yep, it reminds me so much of Fantasy Island.
That's funny.
Yeah, this movie has flop written straight up all over it.
You think so?
Oh, without a doubt. This is like this. You know what? This is like a fake imitation of M. Night Shyamalan. This is a fake imitation. Who directed this film?
I could see that. Zoe Kravitz.
I have no interest to watch this film. Absolutely 100%.
Yeah, it's a Zoe Kravitz original.
Film. I forgot about that.
Written by Zoe Kravitz and somebody else.
I totally forgot about that because I forgot she's supposed to do she's directing her own film.
I mean, I guess she's got to do something while waiting for Batman 2 to come out.
True.
or act in it. I don't know. They're not even filming that movie.
Yeah, we might be all banished from this earth by the time that movie comes out.
Yeah,
We might be old men.
It's gonna be in limbo with Blade.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm interested in the premise. It gives Midsummer vibes, and I guess it kind of does give like Fantasy Island vibes. Mainly because the island. They go to island.
I bet you won't bring Terry. Now this movie, you can bring Terry, you can bring Joel, you can bring what's the name? You can bring all of Khadijah's friends. You can bring everybody to watch that film.
Yeah, you don't want to go to this one?
Nope.
All right. Well,
you can bring everybody to see that one. will not take part in that. I can't waste my time with that, man.
yeah. I don't know. It seems like a fun like streaming movie. You know what I mean? Like on a Saturday. Or whatever.
Yeah. Now if it's like on streaming immediately, then I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
I mean, it's Amazon Studios, right? I'm pretty sure Amazon will probably put it out the same day.
Probably. I don't know. Sometimes they stop doing day-to-day releases now. They don't do those anymore. No
They'll
streaming
wait a
service.
week.
Yeah,
we'll have to wait a week. We'll have to wait till September instead of August. This segment sponsored by
The people against vegetarians eating plants. Save the grass, eat some ass.
That's all the movies I had for you. I haven't seen a whole lot of other trailers recently.
There's not really anything else that's out.
Yeah, the summer hits are coming out, and we're kind of getting into August territory.
Inside Out is killing it.
Inside Out's doing a great job from what I hear. Bad Boys is still doing pretty good.
Yep.
Cinema is back, they say.
That's what they say.
Until the next movie flops.
Because Inside Out, until the next film flops.
Yeah, and then they'll say cinema's dead again.
Yeah.
Has that Bike Riders movie come out?
Bike Riders comes out this weekend.
I want to see that movie. I don't know. Tom Hardy and stuff is always interesting because he's kind of like Channing Tatum in a way, right? He just plays different roles.
You never know really what to really place him either.
Yeah, but I don't know. Every role he's in seems to kind of work for him.
And
right?
you got my guy in there. What's his name? He played Elvis.
Austin Butler.
Austin Butler.
Yeah.
So
I don't really think I've ever seen him in anything. I never even saw him in the Elvis movie. We were talking about biopics.
He was in
Elvis
Dune.
Oh yeah, so we still haven't watched that one.
Oh, you still haven't watched that?
Still haven't watched it.
Damn.
It's because of the length. It's a commitment.
Yeah.
And it's easier to watch like a 45-minute whatever and not a whole movie.
True.
We did watch that Atlas movie last night though.
Atlas?
Yeah. On Netflix with Jennifer Lopez.
Oh
She
yeah.
plays a 30-year-old and
I didn't have a problem with that movie. I didn't have a
I
problem.
thought it was
with
fine. I think
Yeah.
it was just a fun sci-fi movie.
I
I don't
think
think there's much else to really think about it. You know,
Yeah.
it's like your typical AI is taking over wants to kill everybody kind of plot.
Well, when you see Jennifer Lopez slapped on anything, you instantly start hating.
Yeah.
Well, not me, but yeah,
Some
those
people
people
do,
out there
yeah.
that start, oh, she's trash.
Yeah.
It's like, just give it a chance. And
Yeah.
the movie's not bad.
No, it's not. It's like I said, it's a fun sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
It's got neat elements to it, I suppose. It's not one to write home about, but I mean, again, it's a streaming movie. If you're at home and you just need to put something on,
Did you see that my boy put out another trailer for another movie?
who?
Come on, man. You know what I'm talking about? My boy. The TP. TP.
T-Pain?
No, not him. He wishes he was this guy.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Pizzle. I'm talking about Tyler
Tyree. Oh,
Perry.
Tyler Perry.
He's
What
back with another one.
are you talking about? Tyler Perry's got a Medea movie?
He's got not that. No, we got something better than the Medea movie. We got another struggle drama film with a woman getting her butt beat. I said, that's what I'm talking about. Boy, we back. Oh, here we go.
Divorced in Black?
Divorced in Black, baby. We back with another one. Another one.
He only knows how to do two types of movies, doesn't he?
And it works all the time, Jacob. It works all the
I
time.
mean,
I cannot wait to watch this film.
don't break what's not fixed,
I cannot wait to
Don't
watch
fix
this
what's
film.
not broken.
What I can't wait for watching this film is the twist. Because the villain he should do a Marvel film. Because his villains always seem to turn even darker.
Do they?
Like they turn even darker. They turn into the devil. And I love it. I was like, this guy does not know how to stop. This man is something else, man, with these movies. And of course, I'm being sarcastic. I don't like
I
seeing
can tell.
women getting beat. But I'm talking about the simple fact that this man does the same freaking film.
Yeah, he does. And he's
And
made a whole career off of it.
He's made
so-
a whole career off of it.
Yeah, what can you do?
What can you do? Oh, there's a lot of things you can do. Make better films, but they'll take a whole podcast for me to get through that whole situation. Yeah, man, look at all those movies. Look at all those. Have you saw any of those movies?
No.
Oh, you're not Tyler Perry
Outside of
fan?
some of these Medea movies, but Gone Girl. Did he do Gone Girl?
Yeah, he was in there.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, he had like a cameo in there.
The Single Moms Club.
Yeah, oh, God, that movie there. For Color Girls, man, that was a rough one.
All right, well, officially, that's all we got.
Tyler Perry, so you spent some time with me.
We're gonna end it on Tyler Perry, sir. This is what you wanted.
How it should end.
So, hey, if you want to email us, you can email us at onthegopod2023@gmail.com. You can find us on Instagram at onthego with Jacob and James. Is all one word. You can find James on Instagram at
James9794.
You can DM him about Tyler Perry. He'll love to talk to you about him.
Send me your favorite Tyler Perry movie.
Yeah, send him your favorite Tyler Perry movie. We'll read it off. You can find me on Instagram at jacobdanton.audio, and you can find us on YouTube on the Go with Jacob and James. We put out episodes every Monday and Friday, and that's it. I'm on the go. James is on the go. We're all on the go.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please follow and share the podcast with your friends and family units. If by chance you disliked the episode, then please share the On The Go show with your most hated enemies. Thank you and enjoy your day.